Gamers, before we get into this video, I just want to point out that Solstice did drop today, and Bungie did a great job with us farming these Solstice weapons. We got the shiny tier 5 juicer, we got the heel clip incandescent, yeah, and we got the GL with ambitious attrition. We even got demo attrition. So I do want to point out that the tier 5 armor and all this good stuff that they just tweeted today saying we're supposed to be getting spoiled with drops, it's probably based off the feedback that we've been giving as a community on the DLC. So everything I'm about to say, I still mean it, but Bungie's doing a good job for Solstice. Welcome back, gamers. We are cooking again, but not really. We're going to take it easy this time. We're just going to talk about some changes that I think that Bungie could implement for Edge of Fate to kind of help the player base out and make us not lose our hair sitting in Caldera and K1 and wishing that Encore would come back. If you're enjoying these videos, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It's free. Keep the comments coming. You guys are really supporting these videos a lot, and I do appreciate you watching them. So now let's talk about some stuff. So I got a list of bullet points. They're not in order, so I'm just going to be all over the place, but I'm just going to be talking about some stuff that I think needs to be changed because the community is just not having it. First off, where I'm at, I finally hit 400. Man, I feel like I was unemployed there for a minute because this grind was pretty rough. One thing I've been noticing a lot is that ghost mods are not working. So these just don't work. And when you're farming like I am to the point where you're consistently getting tier 4 and tier 5 drops, you're really hoping that they go with your ghost mod because you're trying to farm out sets, trying to get those crazy high armor stats and get those super high juicer builds that you can get like quad 100s or double 200s, you know, like you're really trying to be rewarded for what you've been grinding for. And this ghost mod just not working with any of these, it's kind of annoying. What I've noticed is if you just get like a random drop, sometimes a world drop like this will work with your ghost, but if you get an activity reward like coming out of trials like I did, this was a tier 5 drop, I don't understand why it dropped with health when I don't ask the game for health. And I know you guys are like, well, Clyde, it's a chance, it's not supposed to be guaranteed. We're starting to see it. Like I've decoded some engrams, I've decoded some exotics. It just seems like stuff isn't working properly, and the community definitely sees it, so I wanted to point it out. Now, since I'm hovering over this juicer tier 5 piece, one thing you guys might not know about tier 5 armor is that obviously it's RNG if it drops until we're power level 500. Bungie has stated in Ash of Iron, when we get our power level bumped up to 550, once you achieve power level 500, everything's going to drop at tier 5, so you'll just pretty much get spoiled. The only time you're getting spoiled right now is if you're power level 450, and we all know that community does not like this grind. It's painful. Going from 400 to 450 is about another 100 hours, and it's very limited on RNG. And yeah, like I said, so we need something implemented now to encourage people to keep grinding for that, but not feel the burnout factor. Talking about tier 5, if you see, I have 3 lines next to my class, and what that means is this is the difference between tier 4 and tier 5. As you see here, tier 4 doesn't have it and tier 5 does. Since there's 3 lines next to my class, this means that I can pull stats from my health, my melee, my grenade, my super, or my weapons, and I can add more stats to my class. So not only are you praying for a tier 5 drop, but you're praying that it drops the right focus. And we're not used to that because we're used to just artifice armor, being able to select whatever we like. So if you get like a really good piece of tier 5, which you've been working hard towards, and it's the wrong focus, you might think like, well, Clyde, that's not really big of a difference. It's not a big deal that you're trying to get the perfect piece. I mean, it kind of does. When you're power level grinding and you're power grinding for certain builds, you need certain stats. Now, getting 4 of these pieces and getting the right focus could be 20 stat on your weapons for your helmet. You're going to get 5 from your helmet, 5 from your gauntlets, 5 from your chest, and 5 from your boots. And that's going to give you 20 stats to a stat that you need for a perfect build. And I feel like that's the whole purpose of the grind. It's really encouraging us to grind for those. And, you know, that's what's keeping me going. Is I want the tier 5 juicer builds, and I want the perfect build. I'll smash my head against the wall and grind for the perfect build. Casual audience is not going to do that. Why can't people that are on their way to 400, if they're over 200, why can't they have a small % chance of getting some random tier 5 loot or tier 4 loot? Just spoil them a little bit and encourage them like, hey, keep going. You'll get rewarded when you get to that power level, not just, hey, it's way up there, you ain't getting nothing. So stuff like that could be implemented. Next up, we're going to talk about old activities being rewarding. Bungie stated that we could play the game however we wanted and we can level the way we wanted, and there is no cap on powerfuls because there isn't. You can just keep playing. What if people want to do dungeons? What if people want to go farm old dungeons? What if people just want to do old stuff in the game? If you're going to force us to do the portal, you need more than 3 pinnacle activities. I'm sorry. There needs to be weekly focused dungeons in here. I mean, every Tuesday I open this up and I go, fire team. Okay. Did anything change? No. Did pinnacle change? No. Like, where's the stuff? It doesn't make sense to me. And the thing is like, I don't want to compare Diablo because we're already in the Diablo phase with world tiers. What if they said for the next day, or this could be weekend. On the weekend, it could be activities on Europa and Dreaming City have double drops or drop fat drops. Like, there needs to be encouragement for the player base to like do something different. So we're not doing the same activities like solo ops, because right now, people just don't care about anything in the portal unless it's Star-Crossed mission or solo ops, and you're just doing K1 or Caldera. There needs to be like a rotating portal activities or rotating endgame activities to encourage people to be like, hey, if I go do this dungeon right now, I'm going to get 3 drops per encounter. And it's only this weekend. I wonder what we're going to be doing next weekend, you know? Because like, that's how it was leading up to Edge of Fate. We were like, what's there to do this week? We're going to prep our armor and Grasp of Avarice, and then we're going to go do Duality, and then it's Insight Terminus farming. Every week, you always find that one farm to do because it's consistent, and we need that back. And that's what this portal was supposed to give us, but there is no diversity. And that's, you know, and I'm not being negative about it. It's just when I look at this screen with 3 missions, it just, where'd my money go? What did I pay for? Where's all the old stuff, you know? So now let's talk about that seasonal reset that everyone keeps going back on. That seasonal reset. They're like, Clyde, you're grinding to 450 and then Ash of Iron 550. In December, they're going to reset you back. Bungie, please don't do that. The community is very upset. They don't want to grind. If you reset to 200, I'm warning you now, it is not going to be good for the economy, and the player base is not going to like it, because we got Timmy and Jimmy watching this video right now. One's got a girlfriend, one's got a wife. Okay, they both got 6 kids, 2 dogs, and a bunny named Thumper. They don't have time to invest in that much gameplay and just have it ripped from them. And I get it. It's 4-player population, but you need to think of a different system. You know, just tell people like, hey, if you grind to 550 come December, you get rewarded for it. I don't have an idea for it. I don't have an idea, and I don't know what I'm cooking up here. If you tell people, hey, if you grind to max power level before December, you get rewarded, or just treat everybody equally and be like, hey guys, we thought about going back to 200. It's probably not going to be a good thing. So let's go back down to like 350, and then you just have to do 350 to 550. I don't know. Like I said, I can't give you a good explanation on this. Don't do what you're planning on doing, because that's what everybody's talking about. Everyone's like, well, it's pointless. The grind sucks now. It's going to suck in December. One thing that people don't realize is we're 4 months away from December. So they're not going to keep a system that everyone's already talking about. But please start writing down your notes now and do something. I'm kind of all over here, but going back to the week-to-week grind, the rotating bonus loot's cool. I don't know if you guys have noticed when you're in pinnacle missions, when you're doing like Starcross, Kelsfall, Whisper, or even Encore, it seemed like the drops mid-mission, those weren't powerful. That's why people were like, man, I only get drops at the end. They need to change that to where you're rewarded for doing the whole activity. Raids are like that now. You know, the Rite of the 9 dungeons were like that. If you did the whole dungeon, you got spoiled with loot at the end. I really think that the mid drops in certain pinnacle ops or fire team ops or whatever, if there's multiple drops in a mission, they all need to guarantee help boost people so that they can, you know, level a little better and feel like they're being rewarded for their time. That was just like a small thing that I wanted to touch on. I don't know if you guys noticed either, but going into talking about more of the dungeon stuff, players cannot go in to Ghost of the Deep right now and farm the Navigator. People can't go get the Icebreaker. People can't go farm any of the exotics anymore in these dungeons because there's no featured dungeon. And I was just notified about this because obviously I haven't been playing the old content that much. And I think that could be changed with the topic that I said before of having rotating dungeons, rewarding loot. We need to focus on that and, you know, let the player base know like, hey, you know, you can go farm that stuff, because we all know that the new player experience is terrible. If you don't believe me, just go make a free-to-play account and try it out for 10 minutes. And you'll be like, okay, I'm done. Remember how I was talking about the grinding GMs part? Yeah, you can't do that no more. I know I've said this in other videos, but this is just, yeah. Oh, I don't understand this. You know, right now I have completed all of mine. I skipped this one for some reason, but I'm down to my 2 Grandmasters, and I don't want to do these until I'm closer to 450, because this will hopefully bump me closer to 450 and give me tier 5 drops. Some people have told me wait till I'm like 447, 445. Some people said do them now, but again, I've watched my clanmates do these. Dude, everything gets ran over. I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't feel like GM content. And that's cool and all. I don't mind doing the stuff, but these should be like a weekly reset, because they actually drop good loot and it encourages players to do something different in the game. And it goes back to the topic of me saying, hey, you know, we need more weekly content. What really gets me right here, this right here. Take this, curl it up in a ball, and throw it in the trash. It's so bad. And the reason why this is so bad is exotic class items aren't even on this list. So you cannot go in with an exotic class item on, which is pretty much everybody's favorite setup to run. You would have to choose a new gear or weapons, and yeah, we don't like it. Some people don't want to run the new armor in the game because they like keeping their stat distribution from their old stuff. You know, I just started replacing my gear, and I want to point that out. Like, I just started converting over to the new gear because I felt like it helped me hit 400 quicker. But I still have my illegal armor that I used for the day 1 raid with not high weapons and intellect. I just think you got to get rid of this. One thing I want to point out, you might have noticed that the grapple modifier was taken out of the Pinnacle playlist. Bungie used that modifier to pitch in their Vidoc. Well, not Vidoc, but you know what I mean. They literally pitched that modifier as a selling point of the DLC, and they took it away because we were Spider-Man going too quick. I'll just leave it at that. Now let's talk about Dual Destiny. The fact that they changed Dual Destiny from getting 2 exotic class items on your first clear each week to 1, not saying anything, and then not making this match made yet, it's kind of criminal. Because I don't know about you guys, but most builds now require a juicer exotic class item, and these should be available for more. Now I know you guys are probably like, well, Xur has them. Guys, no one wants to spam strange coins, okay? Even though strange coins do drop a lot in Edge of Fate, and you can just spam a lot at Xur, that's not the point. The point is that you can go do the activity where it guarantees to work with your focusing. So when you come here and you unlock this mission, you can go here, you can go talk to the vendor, and you can focus what perk you want. And when you go do the actual activity that drops them, you can get class items that you need very quickly. I don't know if you guys have tested out with Xur, but you could go to Xur and literally have it set for like Synthosep, and you get your first one and it's like Synthosep and some really bad perk, and then the next one doesn't have it. You know what you have to do when that happens? When you start seeing that you're not getting the perk that's focused, you have to go back to the vendor at Ghost and reset your instance, and you have to repick the perk again and go back to Xur to fix it. So some of you might be getting scammed on strange coins right now. I'm just letting you guys know that that's a thing. Why can't people just farm this activity right now, have it match made so people can match others, and just let them farm? I don't understand why we're gatekeeping these exotic class items when it's part of Final Shape. So that change could help. Speaking of matchmaking and being able to play with people, why does this whole DLC, when people go, hey Clyde, want to do something? Nah dog, I'm in the mines, I'm chilling. You get more rewarded for grinding solo for power leveling. There should be bonuses. Now I know you're probably like, well Clyde, you can go do the fire team ops. Yeah, good luck in fire team ops. As soon as you go to customize it, matchmaking's off. Okay, and then if you go do match made, if people don't do the objective, I actually ran one of these last night and we didn't get a rewards because they didn't do the objective and they just skipped everything. I was actually chilling trying to kill everything and try and build up a bonus score. I was in a playlist, I forgot which one, I think it was in master playlist. Fire team with randoms just makes no sense, and I was like, man, that's kind of weird. So again, you're back to the solo grind. Or if you're doing pinnacle stuff, like there's not many people that are doing, you know, star-cross farms unless you have people to play with. And I can tell you right now, solo farming is the way to go. Solo leveling was the strat. That's how I hit 400. I just sucked it up and I just kept grinding, and I found ways to make my runs go faster, and it paid off. But we do need to promote playing with others more, because again, we went from a really huge expansion like Final Shape to encourage people to play with others to now it's just, oh hey, do whatever you want, you know. Some of you might not know, but I can show you this. Guardian rank 9. Guardian rank 9. So why is Guardian rank 9 good? Well, I'm gonna open up this portal real quick, and as you see here, I can farm these juicer tokens that are like almost impossible to get, and I can get tier 4 weapons. For Arms Week, you have to be Guardian rank 9 to do this. I think you have to be Guardian rank 7 to get tier 3. Solstice is going to work the same way. So when Solstice launches, you know, today or this week, it's probably going to work the same thing. It's going to be tied to Guardian rank. Also, if you guys have been playing some trials, like I said, I got tier 5 drops after trials matches and at the lighthouse because I was Guardian rank 9 and I was power level 400. Guardian rank 9 should not be forced on people. It just makes no sense. And obviously we're stuck at 9 because we can't do ultimate activities, you know, so pretty much this is where we stall out and you just can't progress anymore. So if it's going to stall us out here and doesn't let us go any higher, why tie that behind drops as it is now? I was just kind of confused by that, and even us as a community were kind of like, hey, you know, why is that a thing? Why is Guardian rank matter? It should just be power level. Once you level up so high, you should just get rewarded, you know? I don't know how to fix that, but they need to address it, or at least they could have told people that. Hey guys, in Edge of Fate, you should focus on your Guardian rank, because they mentioned that they were going to reset it, but they should have said, hey, if you want to get really good drops, focus on your Guardian rank. I've mentioned this before, but I might as well mention it again in this video. Obviously, with the changes they're making this week in the raid, being able to do higher feats and being able to, you know, to get rewarded this week, we'll have to test it out and see if it's going to drop good loot. Having people level up in the game and then being able to do all these feats just to get decent armor in the raid is kind of weird. So it's like, this is where I want to point out, this is where I'm going with the topic. Raids, not rewarding to get better loot in hard end game. Conquests, which are our GMs, you can't farm those no more. And then one more, Trials of Osiris. When you go to the lighthouse on a flawless card, you open up the chest, you're done. Your account's cooked for the week. You can't do it again. So now you've taken 3 pinnacle endgame activities. They got to be rewarding. I know I've said this in another video, but I might as well throw it in this one. They need to make endgame rewarding, because right now it's just, there's nothing encouraging people to do feats in the raid. There's nothing encouraging people to go flawless. You're not encouraging people to do conquests. It's just kind of like, hey, we'll skip that for the week. Do I even have to say it? You see this economy? Upgrading a pair of 200 legs to 400 costs 7,649 unstable cores. What are we cooking here? This is just ridiculous. The fact that this hasn't been changed is just nuts to me. Like, why are they trying to just make you sit here and grind unstable cores until your eyes bleed? I don't understand. Now I get it. Some people are being smart and some people are going to do activities that drop a full armor set and they're just rocking that armor set while they're leveling and they delete all the other stuff because it costs glimmer. But man, it's just, I'm sure it's going to be higher going into 450 because I'm only 400. We need to do something about this. Farming unstable cores is just, it shouldn't be part of the factor when you're farming for high tier loot and high level loot. You should never be like bombarded with, hey, I can't infuse this piece because I'm out of cores, you know? They're already gatekeeping these anyway, and they're going to delete them every season, so we can't stockpile them, you know? So there's actually something really important here that's going on that most of you might not have noticed in the day 1 raid. It's this right here, weapon stat. Right now, I'm rocking my day 1 loadout that I actually used to beat the final boss of DP raid. And as you see here, I have 200 super because I have 3 font mods on, and I have 170 weapons. That was the best I can do because I have like the illegal juicer armor on. I think even with 170 weapons, it was just forcing me to use stuff like Skullfort in the raid because I couldn't afford to use my weapons a lot because I was running out of ammo. I think that the ammo gen is forcing us to always focus on that. Like, I mean, look at how mythic missions are right now. People are just using Outbreak. You know, people are using Outbreak in the raid. People are not counting on their heavy weapons and their special weapons. They're using glaives because they don't want to consume ammo because the ammo meter's terrible. You shouldn't have to build this high into weapon stat in PvE, and I imagine like it's definitely raining some terror in PvP as well. I feel like if you have 100 weapon stat, you should just be able to get ammo. Going into these day 1 raids and dungeons, we shouldn't be forcing our warlocks to run Denthead and mark every single champion. You know, it's very annoying to them, and forcing us to use Aeons, you know, to make ammo. I feel like if the raid was actually challenging mechanically and DPS checks, we should just have ammo all over the ground and just have ammo. And it's like, hey, you got the ammo, now you gotta execute, instead of, hey guys, I don't have any ammo, let's just use primaries in the raid. You know, I'm not really a fan of that. And what I've noticed with the ammo problem is that I don't know if you guys have tried a scav mod. Scavs just aren't rewarding at all. I think when I was testing it with Thunderlord, with 170 stat, I think I got 20 bullets more per brick. That's it. 20 machine guns bullets more with scav mods on. Sometimes I didn't really care about having the scav mods on because I wanted to rock something else. Or sometimes I would go to my boots and I would put on a weapons font instead because I wanted to jack up my stat from 170 to 200, so my large ammo brick chance was higher. I don't know what the scav percent's at right now, but I think they should double it because ammo problem has always been a thing. Even in previous dungeons and previous raids, you're kind of just waiting to go into damage because no one has ammo, or you're stalling out raid mechanics because no one has ammo. I don't know. I feel bad for the warlocks because, like, dude, I wouldn't be running that den head trace rifle mark and stuff. It's just so annoying. You put them at so much risk asking them to switch real quick, and it's always on them. And then, like, I'm a Titan and I got to switch to Aeons real quick and hit a finisher. It's just not, it shouldn't be part of the game, you know, because that's just implementing loadout swaps. Now you're probably wondering why I didn't talk about these damage resistances and the weapon bonuses. Again, it's stuff that I talked about earlier in the video, and they're probably going to change it down the road, but who knows if they do, if they don't. But again, this is just something we have to deal with. Remember, when you're doing stuff like this, you can always use a certain gauntlet and then put a ornament on over it to actually give you a second bonus. So as you see here, I have gauntlets on here and I'm sitting at 2.4 resistance. But then if I come here and I put on the ornament for it, I'm now at 4.8. So you can pretty much cheese this system and double dip. So make sure you just put a full set of new gear on and add some ornaments and call it a day. If you stayed at the end of the video, I appreciate you. Remember, Bungie loves feedback, stuff like this. Someone needs to address it. I just like keep doing these videos. I pretty much see that these videos are being watched more, so I'm going to keep talking about good topics, bad topics. We're not just going to roast the game every video, but we're going to talk about some good points this week too. I got some ideas for some upcoming videos. So thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you next time.